Kimber's back. They're back with the brand new 2K11. This is the newest variant of their 2K11 line, the Royal. This has like a nice oil brushed bronze finish. I think retail on this is like somewhere in the $2,400–2,500 range for this exact finish. But for some of the, I'm just gonna say base model 2K11s from Kimber, my friend, this is Labor Day weekend, okay, when we're filming this right now. I don't know when we're releasing this, but Labor Day weekend, my friend went into Sportsman's Warehouse and he bought a brand new 2K11 for $1,500. Absolutely crazy. And I just gotta say, Kimber packs a lot of value into this gun, and this might be the best 2011 for the value on the market right now. And this is it's a little bit shorter. I think it's a 4 1/4 barrel compared to the 5-inch, which is longer. But I just gotta say, they knocked it out of the park, and this is exactly what Kimber needed. I don't know if I can say this for a Kimber video. Kimber did what they needed to do to stay relevant in the industry. Okay, I said it. The fit is good, the trigger is good, the grip is good, and they did something very clever with the magazines on this 2011, but let's go through some of the parts on this gun, right? Just so you guys know what we're shooting. The big thing is the grip. These are like the Kevlar polymer infused grips that you see on a lot of other guns, even some guns that you might find in Hollywood movies that cost upwards of $7,000. And I would argue that this trigger group is better than that gun, okay? Also, their trigger shoe has a K. Pretty cool. But one thing I noticed right out of the box, I always feel the grip of the gun, and I feel the trigger, and I feel the fitment of the slide. So grip feels good, locks into your hand. It's not too aggressive, like these little knurling on the front locks in your hand, but this, like the hex pattern on the back feels pretty good for carry, and this magwell actually pushes that grip a little bit off your body, so it's not rubbing into your tummy tum-tum all day while you're carrying it. But the trigger, little bit of take up, not a lot of pre-travel, right here on the wall, breaks right through, reset, super positive, minimal travel. It's exactly what you want in a trigger. And this is just out of the box, factory Kimber. Let's keep moving up. Fitment of the slide. It's good. It's not great, it's good though. I mean, but you're also getting an off-the-shelf manufactured OEM gun rather than like a custom hand-fit 2011, but there's minimal movement on the slide. It fits pretty well on the slide rails. Like it could be a little bit better, but now you're asking someone to take that next step. And like, these are built by a single gunsmith in a shop, but like my open guns for USPSA were $8,000 a piece, and they took 4.5 years to get to me. You can go into Sportsman's or your local gun shop and buy a Kimber 2K11 right now. So I'd say it gets a good pass for fitment for the price that you're paying. Next is their optic plate. So this is a CHPS plate that they made for Kimber. It's a cool gun. And so basically I am going to shoot it in some drills for you guys. You guys can see it shoot. And then we're just gonna talk about how it feels as I'm shooting, what I like about it, how the recoil feels, all that jazz. If you want all the technical specs, go pull it up. Go to kimber.com and go look at it because they will tell you. Oh, the magazines, we almost forgot. This is their mag, okay? This is a mag from a competitor. You might see these and say, but Hunter, these are the same. Wrong, they're not. Because this mag holds 17 rounds and this one holds 19, and they are the same size, which is pretty cool because it's like a flush fit mag for a 2011, but they got an extra 2 rounds of capacity on this, which means that when you have a flush bottom of the gun, when you're carrying this, you got 1 in the chamber, so you got 20 in the gun, and then if this was another checkmate mag from Kimber, this would be 19. So you have 39 rounds in your holster, ready to go. And you know what? By the way, some of you shoot your guns, you probably need all 39 just to hit like a 10-yard target. So shout out to Kimber for giving you a couple extra bonus rounds. Oh, and Desert Tiger Stripe. Here we go, baby. I don't know if these are gonna be on the site by the time this video comes out because time is just a facade. So who knows? But they are coming soon, if not already there. I just need to take product photography photos and upload them to the website, but we have Desert Tiger Stripe, Black Multicam, M81, and Pink all coming to the site very soon. And they also feature our new blackout buckle. No more white laser engraved. You don't have to wear my name, but you still will have to wear my initials. And we also updated the coating on the back slider, which allows the belt to stay in place. I know for some people on some body types, the belt was loosening up a little bit. We fixed it. Should be good to go now. Doing it for you guys. You guys tell me what's going on, I listen, and we do it. So now you're gonna listen to me as I shoot this gun. We're gonna start off with the draw drill. If you don't know what the draw drill is, we stand back here at 10 yards. Typically we would have a USPSA target, but all my targets got stolen yesterday while we were trying to shoot a mile in the desert, and they took a bunch of my TA targets and all my USPSA targets. So we're using PCSL targets today. So we're back at 10 yards. I'm gonna be aiming for the K zone of the PCSL target, which is the smallest aiming area on the target. And I'm going to start from concealed, and I'm going to draw, aim for that head box. And my goal is to try to get under 1.5 seconds. And then we're gonna do that 10 times in a row and average it out and see what that looks like. But ideally, you want 10 rounds, under 1.5 seconds at 10 yards, all in the head box, and that is a passing HC draw drill. Typically, this is the credit card on the USPSA target, like the head box, but we're using what we got, okay? So we're just gonna rock and roll, we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna play all 10 clips at once for you. Oh, that was a bad one. 127, 157. Yeah, we did 11. I wasn't sure, but I had one that I really didn't like. I grabbed kind of my shirt, my helmet, and then I pulled that one up top. Other than that, we've got 10 all within this K zone. This one's a little edge break. We don't gotta talk about that guy. But what I'm noticing is that there's a couple extra steps on the 2011 compared to like the Glocks or the M&Ps. Just because I gotta come up, I gotta make sure my hand's in the right beaver tail area, the safety's coming off, and then building that grip and coming up, finding the dot. So there's just like, I'm adding like one or two extra steps in like my processing of that draw stroke. But we're still able to get all except one under that 150 mark. Our very first shot was this one right next to the K at 157. And then I kind of started feeling like where the gun is on my body, and my muscles were getting on track. Anyways, you get to a point where like your hands start to remember, like if we do this draw drill like 100 times, I guarantee our draws will probably get down to like 120s pretty consistently. That last one was 123. There's this shot right here. So as you get more familiar, your draw is going to get better. And so if you're carrying a gun, if you just buy a gun, start carrying it, you're wrong. You should just be carrying like the same platform over and over and over. So, and if you're switching to a new platform, you gotta go to the range. You gotta train on it. You can't be like these cops out here, you know. Next, we gotta see how well this gun runs at speed. So we're gonna do a little build drill action.
Oh, I guess you could just slow it down post-production.
7 yards, build drill. We're gonna rock and roll. I'm gonna fight this safety. My goal is to get under 2 seconds on this. And I'm gonna do as many build drills as it takes to get under 2 seconds. So 197, we're done. This next drill, we're gonna work on our throttle control and our reloads. It's a drill that I created called 4x22, and it's exactly what it sounds like. There's 4 targets, and they start at 4 yards and 22 yards, and you basically engage one array, reload, engage the other array. We're gonna run this like maybe like 2 to 4 times, and then we're gonna check the hits afterwards to kind of see what's going on, if we can identify any patterns or anything going on. But typically what you're gonna see is like some nice controlled shooting and a backwards like bop, 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 reload, da, 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 da. And like these two just screaming fast. Oh, slow, that was a 536. That was better. That was a 519. We gotta push a little bit to get that sub 5, I guess. I think we gotta speed up that first shot and get the splits a little bit faster in the back. Ugh, 505. 505. All right, one more time. Better. 474. You know what? In these last two targets, I like unlocked where I need to be on the trigger, which felt nice. So let's take a quick look at the hits. We walked the times down, starting at like, you know, low fives, getting down to high fours, but all alphas here, which is expected, super close. This is where we'll see. I definitely know, I think I might have dropped a shot on my last first shot. Oh, we didn't. We're still in. I thought maybe I dropped this one out of the Charlie zone, but all alphas. We got one just hanging right on the outside in the Charlie zone on that target, but again, brand new gun, 22 yards. We're trying to get up, find that sight, and make sure we have like a consistent dot lift and come down. And 2011s just do this inherently. So like you can just have it in your hand, and as long as you're doing everything right, that gun's gonna just come up and return right back to where you need to. Because, I mean, it's not a bad group, it's about a hand-sized group at 22 yards, and we're just rocking and rolling. So I'm gonna tape all these up, and then we're gonna run this drill again, but we're gonna start close, and then reload to far. And we're gonna see what the difference of hits looks like there. All right, we're gonna run this in reverse now. We're gonna start with the close targets, reload to the far targets. And we wanna get those fast splits. So I'm calling upon everybody's grandpa, everybody who ever has shot a Kimber, anybody over 70, anybody who wears Nike Air Monarchs unironically, anybody who has a C5 Corvette in atomic orange that's one of 459 produced for that season. Getting that trigger finger. Let's get these splits. Let's do this thing. Oh. Oh. $494, finally. All right, so these groups are way bigger than when we start on these targets because feeling a little bit rushed after getting the mag in, trying to get your grip in the same spot, ready to go. And you can see it's spread out a lot. Pulling left, that's typically gonna be trigger press. This one we've got inside of this zone here, and for PCSO, this whole area is in there. Now I thought I threw one up here to the top right, but I believe there's gonna be an odd number of rounds. 1, 2, 3, 9. There's only 9 rounds. There should be 10, which means that we mic this target on that one run. But this just gives you a good idea to touch in with your skill to see how you can control that throttle and what your sight pictures look like from a close target to a far target. Because on these close targets, I'm just getting like a flash of my dot somewhere inside of that A. For these, I'm waiting for that dot to settle down. So like if you wanna put names on it, this is more predictive shooting, where dots on, you get 1 sight picture, 2 trigger presses. This is dot press, so 2 sight pictures, 2 trigger presses. Whole time, really important just to be focused on the target and not your sights. For whatever reason on this RMR HD, I've got the circle with the, like it's a big reticle. It's a dot in the center with a circle and some hash marks. I don't like that, it gets distracting. When I see it come up on the target, I'm like, ooh, pretty lines. Now, we do spend so much money on these red dots that like we should be able to look at them, but if we want to shoot well, we have to look at the target. All right, next up, we're gonna work on our entry and exits with a modified version of the figure 5 drill. If you don't know what that is, I've got a whole video on it. Typically, we like to use steel instead of paper, but we're gonna rock and roll with paper today just to see how this gun groups. The normal drill is just 1 shot per position. We're gonna do 2 shots and there's 9 positions total. You start in the center cone, then you go to one of the corners and shoot, and then come back to the center, then you go to one of the corners, then you go to the center, then you go to the corner, then you go to the center, then you go to the corner, then you go to the center. Just like that, 9 positions. We're gonna shoot 2 rounds apiece, and there's going to be a mandatory reload somewhere in between. So I have a total of 18 shots, and we will run it for hit factor. So we have a maximum of 90 points that we can earn. For the guys who are familiar with PCSL rules, we are just treating the K-zone as a normal alpha zone. If you don't know what the K-zone is, eat my shorts. it like neutralizes for like 2 alphas, but we're not gonna count for this drill because that's not what we're doing here. I do need my phone though to calculate hit factor, so I'll be right back. All right, we're also gonna do 2 attempts at this drill. This first one is gonna be with the 124 plus Ps. Then we're gonna do a second run with my minimum power factor 147s and see if we can draw any different conclusions from it. .2106. Extra mag, let's check the hits. I think we pulled 1 or 2. 1 Charlie, so we're at 88 for a 417853751 hit factor. Feels pretty good. I'm feeling a little sluggish this morning, but the gun's handling it. There's just something about having that nice controlled pace on the gun, on the 2K11. We're just coming up, coming back down, and I can trust that my follow-up shots are going to be right in the center. And my prediction with the 147s are that it's going to be even smoother, so those follow-up shots are going to be even faster. But we're doing a good job of getting the gun up into position when we're ready to go, and then leaving position, not staying too long to confirm. We're going to tape this up, and we'll do it again. For the 1913. Oh, I left my phone. Do you have your phone? Yeah. All right, guys, we are going to try to induce a malfunction on this gun. Oh, we got one. Oh, wait, no, that was an issue with the ammo. Kimber 2K11 Royal. Now, I don't really think it matters what submodel you're getting from Kimber. Kimber's back.